Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Uh, my name is Wahid Ahmad, and I teach at Pi Academy, Kanihama. Today, we have selected some of the students who will be talking about domestic violence and its causes and its consequences, and also will come to know about the controlling measures of domestic violence. As you can see that we have a lot of students here, almost 9 students here, and they'll be talking about domestic violence. Let's know what domestic violence is, what its causes are, and how can we control it. So first of all, we have a student here. His name is Tamim. I would like to ask him some of the questions about domestic violence. Okay, Tamim, would you please explain what is actually domestic violence?
Domestic violence is actually violence committed by the victim's domestic circle. Domestic violence is not, we relate domestic violence with the bride and the groom, but it's not like that. Domestic violence can also happen between a mother and a son, father and daughter, uh, brother and sister.
Okay.
So, this the domestic violence is violence committed by the victim's domestic circle.
Okay, great. So, what do you think? Who is responsible for domestic violence?
It could be anyone. It's not only the male should be could be the like the way responsible for domestic violence. It could also be the female.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Let's ask the same question to Insha here. We have another student, Insha here. Insha, what according to you is domestic violence?
Domestic violence is a widely used term for acts of violence that take place in the households with the
Okay.
intent of harm. It can accomplish child or elder abuse as well. The term is most commonly used to refer to violence between individuals sharing and intimate relationships.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Kurat, what do you think about domestic violence? What domestic violence is actually?
So, domestic violence is a violence committed by someone in the victim's domestic circle. Like, if a husband beating our wife or his wife, there's a part of domestic circle. And a wife said a husband, you are not, you are unemployed, and your income is not good. There's a part of domestic violence.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now, the same question goes to Azra. Azra, what do you think domestic violence is?
Domestic violence refers to any form of violence that happens in a domestic circle, like cohabitation or marriage.
Okay, great. So, what are the causes of domestic violence? Would you like to elaborate the causes and the consequences of it?
Okay. Domestic violence has many causes, like some usually domestic violence happens because the demands of groom's family is not fulfilled. The groom's family demand huge amount of dowry from the bride's family, which unfortunately they cannot fulfill that, so that the domestic violence begins. Sometimes domestic violence happens because the groom's family demands excess of money from the bride after marriage, and eventually when she cannot fulfill it, she has to sell her all essentials to fulfill their needs. And when she is not left with anything, they beat her up and then throw her out of the house. And it is in the culture of India that the dowry must be of the same weight as of the bride. And unfortunately, when the bride's family cannot fulfill this demand, domestic violence begins.
Great. It was a nice explanation about domestic violence. So we come to know that domestic violence is done actually in domestic circle, isn't it? So what comes in domestic circle? If I ask you the same question, what comes in actually domestic circle? And would you like to explain what domestic circle means?
A mother, daughter, sister, who have the blood relations.
Okay.
That comes in the domestic circle.
Okay.
And as I already explained, domestic circle is like the blood relation.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now let's ask the same question to Sumaira. Sumaira, what do you think is domestic violence? Can you please pass on the mic. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
please.
Sir, I know a whole lot of people are trying to address it like it's a man-woman problem. But in my opinion, it's not a man-woman problem.
Okay.
It is the problem between man versus anything,
Okay.
anything that is weaker than you.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
So, what are the causes according to you? What are the causes of
Uh,
domestic violence?
Okay, I give an example um, the woman from Kashmir, namely Kausar Jan.
Okay.
She was killed by her in-laws
Okay.
because of economical violence, because she was orphan and she can't fulfill their demands.
Couldn't exactly.
Yes, sure.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. Nice. So I think I myself do not know much about domestic violence, but by discussing with some of my students, I also came to know what domestic violence actually is. So let's know some controlling measures or the things that can stop it. So we'd like to ask this question to Azra first. Azra, what do you think? What are the controlling measures and how can we stop it?
The protection of women. The protection of women. India enacted to protect women from domestic violence. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act is an act of Parliament of India. It was enacted on 26 October 2006,
Okay.
and this act provides breeds of protections against domestic violence.
Yes.
According to this act, anybody of this act actually looks to save a female or a woman from domestic violence, and anybody on her behalf, like her mother or her sister or anybody on her behalf, can file a complaint. And this act also provides most important thing that we know as zero FIR.
Okay.
This zero FIR is an FIR which can be registered at any police station, irrespective of the place where the incident occurred.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the information. Nice. Now, the same question. Let's know again what domestic violence is. We have another student here. Her name is Ayman. Let's know what domestic violence is according to Ayman.
Sir, in my opinion, domestic violence refers to the violence and abuse that happens in a domestic settings like marriage and cohabitations, and sometimes it occurs due to the legal demand of dowry system. You know that dowry system is the system in which the bride's family have to fulfill the needs of groom's family, and it also occurs due to the the demand of male hires.
Great. Thank you very much. She, touched a very important concept that's dowry system. So let's know about dowry system. Can you explain what dowry system is among you? Can anybody explain what dowry system is among you? Can you explain that? What dowry system? Actually, no, she said that dowry system is what? What did you say about dowry system?
I said that it is the system in which the bride's family has to has to fulfill the needs of the groom's family,
Okay.
whether it
Fulfill
is
the
money,
needs.
yeah, whether
Exactly.
it's a money or anything else.
Okay, great. Now, great information about dowry system. So, can we say that dowry system comes in domestic violence? It is one of the components of domestic violence. So I have a simple question. I don't know who will answer the question. The question is, dowry system means, it's a system in which bride's family has to fulfill the needs of groom's family. So if a bride is very rich, this is a very important question, okay? If a bride is very rich and she can afford, for example, she's very rich, she can buy anything for the groom's family. Can we call the dowry or we can't call it? Yeah, Azra.
Yes, we can call it dowry.
Yeah, how?
Dowry is anything. It doesn't matter that whether the girl is rich or poor. Dowry is anything that a girl gifts, a bride gifts to her in-laws.
So can we say, like, for example, if a groom demands something,
Yes,
like,
it.
bring this, bring that, but forcibly, I think that can be called as dowry system. What do
Yes,
you think about
if
that?
the bride gives the dowry because of her own choice, then we cannot call it as dowry. It is because of her personal choice.
Yes.
But when the
Groom.
groom's family forcibly ask for a dowry system, like they say, bring this and bring that, and we can call that dowry system.
Okay, great. Okay, now I'll ask a question to Zainab. Now, Zainab, what do you think is domestic violence? What, according to you, is domestic violence? Please.
Sir, in my opinion, I think that domestic violence is the violence that usually occurs in a house with females, mostly with females.
Okay.
Like she's beaten by her father, brother, and anyone male, especially male. She's
In the groom's
beaten.
family.
Yes, like in her in-laws, she's also beaten for like Azra says, like for dowry. That she is not able to fulfill the groom's family's demands, and then she is beaten, and we call it as
Okay,
domestic
thank you very
violence.
much.
Thank
No,
you.
it's great information. Okay, now Fita, what are the causes of domestic violence?
Yes, so just like dominant behavior of wife, self-defense behavior, husband not good looking, husband unemployed. Yes, so
So
self-defense
these are
behavior.
the
Yes,
great
sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, now a question to Zina. Zina, what do you think? What are the types of domestic violence? Can you just tell us about the types?
Yes, sir. Why not? So there are so many types of in domestic violence, like physically and sexually. In everyone knows that in domestic violence, there are so many cases like physically and sexually. In physically, we did like that. We beating we be. Yes, sir. We beat or slap in something throw at could hurt her. We pushed or showed. We kicked or beat up. Etc.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, it means that there are different types of domestic, like physical, sexual, or some emotional. Maybe they can be different, aspects of domestic violence. Okay, let's know about the controlling measures from Tamim. Tamim, what according to you according to you are the controlling measures of domestic violence? I mean to say that how can we stop it actually?
The answer is simple. Government should like provide a particular punishment for it, because isn't any particular punishment for like punishment for the groom or who is doing domestic violence. The punishment is only when court passes an order, and then the groom or the who is like who.
Yes. कोई बात नहीं. Okay, this is done. Okay, yeah, Insha, I have a question to you. Uh, for example, this is a situational question. I should say, if you find a girl being beaten by the husband, and you see the girl being beaten, do you think you can make any action at the spot?
Sir, firstly, I have to go to her and ask her what is the problem. According to the case, I have to take action or call the police or anything else.
Okay, great. But if we talk about, if the same thing happens to you, you go through a market, or you walk in through a market, and suddenly you see a girl being beaten by her husband, and she's hurt. Actually, how do you like to react, and how would you like to take action?
I'll first go to her and ask her what is the matter, and if she agrees, then as I said, that anybody on her behalf can file a complaint. Then I can file a complaint in a police station. So, and as I forgot to mention that this act also provides the most important thing, that is it extend who is the victim of domestic violence. Anybody who does this domestic violence, he or she may go to to police station, and he or she may go to jail for for 1 year, or he or she may pay a fine of rupees 2000.
Okay, great. Uh, Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you. And in this session, we came to know about domestic violence, its causes, its types. Thank you very much, students. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.